Hello again, welcome. Welcome to this meeting. Bienvenidos a esta reunión de artistas. Eh, Estamos aquí con Andreas Müller, Mauricio Chávez y Pablo Zapata. Um, this is the meeting of the program called Eclectic Ontologies. Esta es la reunión de ontologías eclécticas. Yo fui el programador de esta función. Uh, so I was the programmer of this program. So I know a little bit more about your films. Welcome. Gracias
Thank,
por estar aquí. Let's begin with Andreas. Hello, Andreas.
Hello. Hi.
So you are in Austria, in Vienna?
I'm in
Uh,
Vienna. Yes, I live
yeah.
here.
Okay. Thanks for coming here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Andreas, can you tell us more about your film Lucre RGB? I don't know how to pronounce it, but maybe Lucrecio RGB en español, in Spanish.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, it's actually a German title for a film where I decided that it will be in English only. At first, I thought it would be bilingual, but I decided otherwise in the end. So the title is still German. Well, what can I say about that film?
Maybe you can start with the motivation and your ideas before making the film.
Well, many things come together. There are different ways I think about space in general. There are two kinds of spaces in my work in general, in my artistic work. There is the so-called Cartesian space that can be measured, which is very exact. And there is that other motive of space that goes more into, let's say, a fluid idea of space. And this is why in my work, the images of fog or smoke recur all the time. So this is one starting point, and then of course there's the text of Lucretius himself, a text which dates back, I think, 2,000 years, if I'm correct. And the interesting thing about it is, at least for me, he speculated a lot, and some of the ideas seem to be completely off from today's scientific point of view. But on the other hand, this opens up a lot of things for experimenting in a very artistic way, I would say. Because it's not so exact, because it's sometimes very vague what he writes about. It makes up, it opens up room to experimentation, I would say.
Great. So, can you tell us a little about the techniques that you use in the film?
This film was completely shot in my studio, except from a few time-lapse inserts that I recorded in the countryside, so to say. And there is, of course, for that reason, that kind of separation between color image and black and white image. So these are the basic starting points. About the techniques, do you want how I recorded it, or with what camera, or what exactly do you want to know?
Uh, I don't know exactly, but maybe which was the what was the experiment? Uh, Maybe you think about the film like an experiment film,
Yes.
or see, yeah. um, so
I think, hmm,
see, tell me
yeah.
about the experiment.
Okay, the experiment from my point of view was, of course, to find some kind of aesthetic expression um, that starts, I would say, with abstract forms that produced a, I would say, association of planets or bodies in the universe or similar things that we seem to know. But on the other hand, of course, you know that it's not real. It's something your brain makes up in the end. So this is my approach to
Oh,
experiment on an aesthetic level, of course. If we don't talk about the form of the film itself, but rather about the content, I always tried to excerpt um, parts of Lucretius' text that are, as I said before, very vague. You might have noticed that there are some parts of the text where literally translate as maybe or it could be or something like that, you know. So and I took these parts of the texts exactly for that reason, so that you make up uh, something in your mind yourself, so to say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I program it. I placed this film in this program about ontologies and the way someone or the philosophers or everyone explains the world, uh,
Mhm.
explains reality. I really like your film. Thank you, Andreas, for making and and submit it to the festival. Uh,
Thanks for showing it.
Hola Pablo, ¿quieres preguntarle algo a Andreas?
Hola.
¿O, o es
Sí, bueno,
puede ser en español y yo...
escuché lo que estaban diciendo.
Sí, sí,
Dale, sí, no vine preparado para hablar en inglés, no sabía que iba a ser así, pero bueno. ¿Tú
tranquilo.
le traduces? ¿Sí?
Sí, 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 sí.
Ok. Em, sí, estuve escuchando la pregunta que le hiciste sobre la experimentación de su trabajo. En todos sus trabajos anteriores han sido bastante experimentales como este, o
Ok,
fue una etapa en particular de él, es una búsqueda constante en su trabajo.
ok. Uh, Andreas, Pablo
Mhm.
wants to know if you, in your past works, did you work with experimental or and maybe I want to know if you also experiment or no uh, something
So,
like yeah, yeah.
well, I did lots of video works which were made for exhibition purposes in the past.
Okay.
And these kinds of video works were actually really, I would say, experimental. Uh, but I decided that the moving image shouldn't be, let's say, confined to a white cube. So I tried to escape from that a little bit, and for that reason, I decided to make a proper film. So this was the first film which was really meant for cinema and not for exhibition purposes.
Okay.
And yeah, there are some video works, but they're very simple compared to what I did now.
Okay.
But I would consider them experimental. Yes, absolutely.
Do you have a website or maybe uh,
Yeah.
a site in
E-
the
yes, I can send you the link.
Yeah, please.
It's very minimal, this website, with a mixture of all my work. So actually, I come from sculpture originally.
uh-huh.
So here's the link.
Mm.
Originally, I come from sculpture, but I decided to go from sculpture to other media as well. So I work lots with photography, and also moving image, of course. So it's a mixture. It's always difficult as an artist to say, no, I'm a photographer, I'm a sculptor, or whatever. I would say you do your work,
An artist.
no matter which medium it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pablo, ¿necesitas
Sí.
traducción o,
No,
o
no, no,
Mauricio?
no, perfecto, perfecto.
Okay.
Entendí. I understand.
Okay. Thank you, Andreas. Let's continue
Thank you.
with Mauricio. Hola, Mauricio. Mauricio, hola. ¿Puedes activar tu micrófono?
Oscar,
Sí.
solamente, solamente se puede ver a Andreas, no, no se ve más nadie, no te veo a ti, no veo a Mauricio.
Ah, yo te veo a ti. Ah, no, esto es una foto, ¿o no?
Me quedé congelado, creo, no sé por qué.
Ah, pues yo no tengo mi cámara activada.
Ok,
Mauricio, no te
como
escucho.
para reconocerlos, pues, ¿no? Pero,
Ok. Entonces, let's speak with Pablo. Hello, Pablo. Hola, Pablo.
sí,
¿Cómo vas?
hola, hola. Bien, gracias. En cuarentena, ¿no? Como todo el planeta,
Sí.
pero una cuarentena muy productiva. Eh, He intentado aprovechar al máximo, bueno, este momento, ¿no? Para hacer cosas de mi trabajo. Pero bien,
Ah, bueno, Pablo. Tú eres el autor de Yo Piel.
sí.
Eh, ¿Nos puedes comentar un poco sobre la motivación y las ideas que atrajiste para realizar tu obra?
Sí, yo piel, bueno, me gusta mucho inspirarme en, en la literatura o en otras artes o en la música o en este caso también en la escultura, como dice Andreas, para buscar temas para desarrollar mi trabajo, ¿no? Y aquí, en este caso, en Yo Piel, eh, me inspiré en una escultura que vi hace muchos años, cuando estudiaba artes, de Bernini. La escultura representa a Apolo persiguiendo a Dafne y
Ok,
cómo Dafne se va convirtiendo en árbol mientras Apolo la atrapa.
ok. Let me try, déjame intentar
I was
traducir.
inspired by,
Ah, ya.
yo puedo
eh,
intentar también a ver si me sale.
do it,
A ver si me
hazlo,
sale.
porfa.
I was inspired. I was inspired by a sculpture by Bernini, Apollo and Daphne. So my short film is inspired by this sculpture, a very beautiful sculpture eh, in marble, no? and and there is a poem also by Quevedo, the great Spanish uh, poet,
Uh-huh.
called from Apollo to Daphne. No, from Daphne to Apollo is the name of this poem, and it's a very beautiful poem. And I made a mix between this sculpture by Bernini and and this poem from Quevedo. And I was inspired also by the aesthetic um, the comics books. You know, I love comics. When I
Uh-huh.
was a child, I draw a lot, a lot of comics, and and I like this style, no? And I made something. I mixed photography. I mixed draws, very digital uh, illustrations, video, and I record with different kind of cameras, like the PC cameras, like reflex cameras, and another kind. No.
Tremendo.
Um, so this is basic my my work. Jopiel. Jopiel means eye skin. Yeah?
Thank you. Gracias, Pablo. Em, ¿Tú trabajaste solo o tuviste también apoyo de otros artistas?
Uh, in this case, I work alone. You know, I like to work alone sometimes because I can have the control of the final uh, results. No, um, uh, but in this case, I work with a friend for the music to make the music.
Ah, ok.
He's a guy who plays trumpet, no, and was very cool because I am a musician, and this is a and the music is very important in my work because I see my work like something with rhythm, time, you know. I am a video editor, a filmmaker, and musician. So I I love to have in my work this work with time and rhythm. Yeah.
Excelente. Thank you, Pablo. Sí, veo
De
mucho.
la,
I see a lot of comic aesthetic. La estética cómica en
yeah,
tu obra está
yeah.
bien fuerte.
Eh, eh, yeah.
Maravilloso. Gracias, Pablo.
Es como it's
Sí, dale.
like you know a storyboard, a moving storyboard. Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. Yeah.
Eh, do you have a question, Andreas o Mauricio? ¿Tienen preguntas para Pablo?
Sorry, I haven't seen the film, and I have suffering some issues to enter here, and now I think I'm established, and now I don't have a question.
Same here. I've actually seen most of the films of the festival, and certainly I've seen everything from the Ontologies blog. And I have to congratulate you all. You did wonderful films, but I have no question.
Okay, okay. Uh,
Good. Bueno,
Andrea, hola
además,
Andreita, ¿cómo estás? Um, Here we have a friend. Uh, she is a curator. She is Her name is Andrea, also. But ¿estás por aquí, Andrea?
Está ali.
Sí. Ok. No, pues si quieren continuemos charlando, conversando con Mauricio. ¿Cómo estás, Mauricio?
Yeah. Now I'm fine. I recently moved to a small town because I was I left to the 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 capital of Brazil, Brasilia, recently, where I lived the most of my life, because I supposed would move to Chicago this fall, but because of the pandemic, I the borders are closed and I have to still here. And but I'm living this interlude in a small town called Alto Paraíso, something like High Paradise. It's a it's a good place to be and stay to enter United States.
Okay. Maybe soon you can travel to US. I think in the next month, maybe you can go and escape.
Yeah, it
Um,
was nice to enter this room and see this structure to that suggests a kind of dome, a cinema as a dome. Because the movie I put on the festival, Juca, was mainly developed to exhibition, my first solo exhibition that happens last year, that I uh, have developed video installation in a wow. I'm trying to open my site, but it apparently disappeared.
wow.
Oh, no, it happens. Um, I'm happy because for a long time I haven't a site, and now I have an updated site, so I have to share it. And oh, it's not correct. But I just wanted to share my screen to show you that video installation I'm talking about, and you understand that I'm feeling I'm the same place I was.
Thank you. Please,
Um,
please do it.
um,
Share screen.
are you seeing my screen?
I'm seeing your screen. Yes.
Okay, this was the installation. Oops. This installation I have put it in different environments because I proposed this idea that putting in the nature, putting on a waterfall, or putting this in the context of the gallery space will change entirely the experience of receiving images, receiving the movie. And Shuka was recorded here in the same place that you are watching it, and the public had the experience of recognize the spaces of the movie around the projection.
Oh my God. Nice. Nice experience.
And
Wow.
this is was the first screen of the movie, and it's me and the musician here, and we are playing live cinema performance. And after that, after this first exhibition, the movie was in my solo show in this dome structures. It's a TV tower that appears on the movie. There's a scene in the movie with this tower, and that is the tower of the exhibition that have these two domes, mirror domes. It's similar to where we are now in this
Yeah.
virtual reality.
Yes, yes.
And that are some photos.
Pyramid Cinema. Cinema Pirámide. Wow.
It's called Pyramid Cinema. Yes, is that I will start sharing my screen.
Thank
Stop.
you. Wow. Very interesting. So, what's the meaning of yucca? Yucca? It is a name or
It's the name of the character,
the character? Yeah.
uh, and that all the characters, almost all the characters are called Juka. And they are waiting for Juka. This is the question of the movie. Is
Mm,
Juka coming? And they are waiting for Juka, like waiting for Godot.
yeah. uh, Very interesting. I really think that your film also talks about the extraterrestrial, the life extraterrestrial. ¿Cómo es? La vida extraterrestre. They are waiting for an alien or something called Yucca. That.
Yeah, that's I think the movie explores the idea of luminous object in the sense that in dark we don't know exactly what the things are because we don't see well, and that there are some signals of light because this space is in transition in the sense that is countryside, but the city is advancing to this, advancing to nature, and the lights, the city lights, are the symptom of this advancing. So this experience of don't know what are you seeing, don't know what is the light you are seeing. Uh, it could be confounded uh, with the idea of seeing an UFO.
Yes.
And when this happens on the movie, when Juka looks directly to something that looks like an ET, it is a drone. So I think it's because I think that actually we are in this paradox moment of our history that what we was afraid of during the last century, we it's exactly what we are producing now. So I don't know, maybe the extraterrestrial experiences that happens in the past were experiments of the future that we are living now.
Yeah. We also are living in a world where we don't know what is true. Everything seems to be fake, or we don't know exactly what the lights are talking to us. Um,
Yes, but these lights are separating us from the experience of perceive us in a whole thing. I think the experience of being so illuminated, there are so lightnings that we are not seeing far. We are seeing closer and closer, and this is maybe this is why we are in this so self generation, because we are not our view are not reaching so far. We are only seeing what is closer to us because of the light. So I think this is um, a one of the features of have an experience in the dark. Uh, and maybe the first idea of the movie is that when you are in the dark and when you are in the middle of the forest, far from the city lights, your eyes dilate and you start to see in a relation of time. For example, after 1 hour seeing in the dark, you start seeing lots of of things that didn't appears to you before, and some of these things are because your eyes are more sensible, or because you are creating something too.
Uh-huh. Nice. Um, Mauricio, uh, I like in your film that you experience with other screens, with cell phones and other media. Can you tell us a little more about it? Uh,
Yes, it's a. I think it was directly influenced by my research in art and technology,
oh,
master degree that I had in art and technology. I'm influenced in lots of the thinking of Lev Manovich and Gabriel Menotti, which is a curator and professor here in Brazil, that have developed a great research and was the curator of my exhibition. Great research um, on this network of screens is because the cinema during the 20th century was um, so important to our had changed our daily life so much that actually we have the same rectangular screen
yes,
on our pockets, on the hand, as in the same aspect of screen, the same rectangle. Is that is it that rectangle we are seeing the logo of the festival, Bogota Experimental 6?
yes.
Um, and it was about that. And, so it's as I'm commenting about the the city lights, this experience is a modernity experience of urbanity. For sure, the cinema is that kind of experience. So maybe I'm trying to invocate this idea by directing it to the experience of cinema and the experience of city lights, but mentioning this change, this paradigm changing that we are living now towards the digital screens and managing it. And recently, I have no good video essayist, uh, a pretty cool director called Kevin Billy. I don't know you know him. He's pioneer in the desktop documentary. He only used the screenshots to develop his own documentaries. It's pretty interesting. So I I practice this a bit in Juca too, in the sense that it's the cinema is not so cinematography, it's not so photography. You can for sure you can develop a film without using these equipments, and for sure animation is in the birth of cinema. And I think these kind of films, these films, refers to animation too. And it was that it's attempted to put the reality of the characters in on screen too, in the sense that what we can't see about Shuka is it's because he goes to the dark to use Grinder, far from his friend. And yes, there are some layers of meaning that I try to put in this on this idea.
Okay. Mauricio, can you write the name of the artist that works with desktop documentaries?
Okay, is it?
Kevin Billy. Okay,
It's
interesting.
yes, he's British, and last year he was invited by uh, what is the name of the that Get Institute
Uh-huh.
to develop some like 5 or 6 video essays about the movies of Harun Farocki. It was pretty interesting. He was he dives in the material of Farocki and have made some great movies too.
Great. I will check it later. I will investigate it. Research. Gracias,
Nice.
Mauricio. Gracias.
Thank you.
¿Hay alguna pregunta? Do you have any questions about Yucca or maybe the other works? Hola Andrea, ¿tú me escuchas? Okay. I really like your films, my friends. The, all of these three films are very different. I think it's a diversity of aesthetics and ideas. That's why it's eclectic ontologies that
Yeah.
are different. So, my friends,
Very eclectic.
do you want to say anything else? Maybe. Uh, oh,
I solved the problems I had before opening it in Firefox. It was not so good in Google Chrome.
Mm.
ok. Andrea, si quieres intentar en Firefox o salir y volver a entrar. Eso. Pablo, ¿dónde te encuentras? ¿Estás en Venezuela?
No, estoy en Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Ah, ok.
I live here since 6 years. Yeah.
6 years, ok.
Sí, estoy aquí desde hace 6 años y bueno, bien, una ciudad muy, muy, muy rica, esta ciudad, muy linda,
Bien,
con mucha cultura, se respira mucho, mucho arte, se respira acá.
excelente. Quiero conocer. Eh,
Sí,
ok, I'm curious. Estoy curioso sobre cómo están viviendo políticamente en, en sus países o donde se encuentren. Está muy extraño el mundo. I'm very curious about the current state, the politics and the social issues. Can you tell us more about it? Maybe how is everything in Vienna, in Austria, Andreas?
Okay, in Vienna, Austria, everything is, I guess, the same way as everywhere else in the world, which means that the political right gains more and more votes. We spoke a little bit about that before when we had a short talk 2 days ago, and I told you, I think nowadays it's not anymore about left or right, because to my opinion, they are all corrupt, no matter who we are talking about. We're now facing something that is really, we deal with a few rich people who fight the rest of us. So I guess that's more to the point nowadays.
Mhm. And you
I agree
experience,
with that.
yeah, yeah, me too. And in Vienna, do you experience something difficult? Or
Well, um, I would not talk about difficulties because I'm aware that in Latin America things might be in some places much worse in terms of who has leadership there and police brutality and all that stuff. We talked about this shortly already. So compared to what's happening in your countries, I'm fine here. But what I can see, at least from my perspective, is that also here in Europe, not just Austria, but Europe in general, governments, no matter if it's Germany or France or Spain or whatever, they all use the virus as means to restrict certain liberties. I mean, we all do understand that we have to deal with it in a most reasonable way. We all know that we have to. We don't want others to get sick, but I would say if it's about privacy, if it's about tracking of people, if we talk about, let's say, freedom of movement and so on, I would say it goes in not quite the right direction.
yeah.
And I don't know how it is in Latin America, to be honest, because media here is very much focused, unfortunately, to Western news outlets. So we hardly get to know anything. I only have a friend here who is from Venezuela, and he sometimes tells me things. But otherwise, it's really difficult to get information here
Yeah,
about South America or Latin America in general.
I understand. Yes. Is there any hope? We have hope to that the world is going to be better. Do you?
Yes, I would say there's always hope, of course. I mean, it's a personal decision that you have to make, or at least this is how I see it. For me, it was always important to not live in fear. And no
Yes.
matter what political construct we live in, no matter who the leaders are, they only can control us through fear. And if we are not afraid, whatever they try, it won't work. I mean, that's very easily said if you face things such as police brutality in your country, because things like that wouldn't go unnoticed here in Austria. This would be very difficult to do for governments here. So it's more obvious. The question is it better to have a more obvious enemy that fights you in the streets, or is it better to have an enemy that on the surface is quite normal, so to say, but who has other intentions
Yeah.
that you won't see at the first glance? So the question is, what is better? But the decision in the end is not to have fear, continue whatever you do. If you make art, it might sound naive, but I think that art can make the world really better.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Mauricio, eh,
Hola.
Mauricio, ¿cómo ves tú la situación? How do you see the global situation? How is in Brazil?
Yes, currently so despair.
This, yeah,
um, yes, yes, I thought we are suffering a very sad moment. Then we had a dictatorship rising. It's not an official dictatorship, but have all the features of the past, because in the past we had a dictatorship.
yeah,
And and currently in that kind of moments, that we put together this political situation, this crisis situation, that the population was totally um, give it to the pandemic. We are having lots of deaths, and and having all this context. I think it's had a time to imagine, to figure out how to escape from it, how to think on utopias, and how to think on how to imagine a new world. It's pretty difficult to create something, to be motivated and create something, and to be optimist, to have hope. And this is why I have applied some efforts to move to another country. And as the um, the effect of the, what's the name of it, the fascism, the effect of the fascism is so centrifuge, in the sense that the fascism push your back to them, as the fascists have this effect. I'm enclosed in Brazil again. I try to go somewhere and try to nurture me, to try to still working, to try to still developing something, and trying to be stronger, to go back and help my country. But it's they are a kind of machine of destroying our imagination.
yeah,
It's tough times.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
you are going
you are going
to USA, right?
Yes, I'm moving to Chicago.
Chicago.
Actually, I'm in SAIC, School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and as I wouldn't be able to enter this semester, I am doing this semester. This At the moment, I'm only taking classes virtually,
Okay.
and only theoretical courses. I pretend to enter there at the end, in the end of this year.
Yeah. USA also is difficult. Is in difficult situations. The US. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's in every country we have issues. The dictatorships, as you said, are here, are in our present. The
Yeah,
dictators.
it's very. I think it's very similar. The energy of this, but actually, what I believe and what I'm looking for is to be in community. I'm trying to be in a community of creative people to figure out
Okay,
together how to find some ways.
claro, of course, very important.
And
Okay,
as
yeah,
far as I can see, you also try to direct the attention of the viewers of your work towards, I would say, the metaphysical, if I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
which is also work in itself. So you try to open up the minds of your viewers, which is a good thing.
Yeah, thank you,
It is.
thank you. Yeah, we are trying to make it to talk about metaphysics, of course, and spirituality, the spiritual life. I think it's important. Yeah.
And I
Um,
think what is most important is as the art can help us to know that the world is a creation, and we can create lots of cosmogonies. We can create our mysticism, our beliefs. So we are on. I think we are in control, in the control.
okay. Yeah. Andrea Rodríguez quiere preguntar. Andrea Rodríguez wants to ask, how do you think your films create a new way of thinking the future? Wow. How do you think your films create a new way of thinking the future? Who wants to answer?
Do you want first, Mauricio?
Um, uh, why this after the question? Um, I think I maybe the movies I'm creating now. The movie I'm editing right now is more directed toward this question, I think. But I'm not to pretend like I don't have the pretension. I'm listening to a lot of noises. Oh, now it's better.
Now it's better.
I don't have the pretension to present answers about in what way can we go, but I would be happy if I stimulate people to imagine it. I don't think I will present the solution, but I think fiction can stimulate people to act as we know. For example, when we watch Titanic and that girl watch a female character very strong, this girl will be stimulated to be a strong girl too. And I think that's is the power of fiction, and to stimulate people in action.
Yes, yes, I agree. And also to make people to ask, to have questions, not just solutions, not just answers, but questions.
Yes, is to put some uh, to cause some um, I don't know, like uncertainties and uncomfortable in the head of the people. I think this is that would be a good achievement.
Yeah.
Well, I would agree on that. I also don't want to give answers, but what I always try to do in my work is to point to something different than what we would usually call rational thinking. I mean, this goes back a few hundred years to scientists who have chosen the path of mathematical proofs over experience, so to say, which is not bad, but I think something that makes us human beings got lost in the process. And this is the reason why I always come back to metaphysical issues to balance this kind of rational thinking that we got stuck in nowadays. So when I do my work, for example, now I can give you an example. I now work on a film that deals with some different kind of geometry. So not geometry in the sense of having a grid, and this grid defines in its intersections where a certain point is. But a geometry that comes out of an origin and that is conclusive in itself as a form. And perhaps it doesn't give an answer in the end, but I think on a subconscious level, people will always feel and always experience that there might be something that they miss in their daily lives. And if we as artists can contribute to some more balanced view on what we call reality, then this would certainly change the thinking of the viewers or perceivers in the future. So it's a small contribution. I don't know whether everything will be aware of what's going on in the film or how it changes him or her, but I think it's important.
Yes. Yeah. To I don't know how to say it, to not just think with our brains, but with
Exactly.
all our body. Our body also think, um,
Exactly, yeah.
and also to bring the intuition. Intuition is very
Mm.
important for everyone, not just the exact thinking. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, my friends, thank you. I thanks. In fact, I've seen good artistic way to approach a new way of being. Yeah, I agree. Okay, my
Thanks a lot.
friends, thank you for your thoughts, for sharing your words, and that's it. I think we can finish this meeting. Or if you want to say something else, uh, do it.
Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you, Oscar. Yes. Thanks for everything.
Please come to Bogota. Bogota is getting better. It's a beautiful city. Yeah, it's really nice, and we are very kind people. We are good people, and you are very welcome to Bogota. Please come next year
Oh,
for in the festival.
for sure.
I will
Gracias.
certainly the moment I can.
Yeah, I hope so too. So I'm going to stop the recording. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.